have them for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a good idea, Bhaiya. Thank you. And let me see. 1 minute. Let's try to get this out so that I can. Is it still? Pujaben, can you make me the host? Not sure why it's disabled.
Sure, Devi.
And we'll start the recording again, maybe. It's again showing me the same.
But it does say it's recording right now. I see a record button flashing at the top left.
Yeah. I'm not seeing the
The screen is blank.
PowerPoint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Notes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See this. Okay. So So just to get an idea, Brahma Kumaris, this meditation is offered by Brahma Kumaris. It's a spiritual organization, and it is a university come hospital. That is what we are told, where, the soul which has some ailment gets cured, and also the soul learns a lot to elevate itself. So this Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University come hospital, it is actually headquartered at Mount Abu, Rajasthan. Started in 1936. We have over 8,500 centers. And these are some data, nearly 140 countries. We have over 45 registered centers and 35 classes in the USA. And just to understand that, there is also an international coordinating office in London, UK. And this is just to tell you that it is not only in 1 or 2 countries, but it's really universally, globally spread throughout. And it's affiliated to the United Nations as a non-governmental organization, to the Department of Public Information and International. It's really taken care of a lot of peace projects, educational initiatives since 1980. So there are many, many projects, and we are not going to describe that. However, the last class, the 8th class, will give you a little more glimpse of what our organization does and how it got established, and a lot of other things. So Raj Yoga Meditation Foundation course has 3 levels. So we have beginner level, intermediate level, and advanced level. And before we get into that, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about, that little bit about housekeeping and administrative, things which we tell to students. And it's primarily that each lesson builds upon the preceding one. So it's important to take them in sequence. You'll get the maximum benefit if you commit to the full series. And if due to illness or emergency, you can't really take a class, make sure you tell us so that we can make up for it. And if you, for any reason, want to drop out of the course, it's very important that you let us know, and we will be happy to even take you out from the database, but do inform us why you're not there. And we will start today only with a song, and we will start that once I tell you how the course is going to look. But once before starting the first chapter, we are going to start with a song and end with a commentary and a song. But every day we will start with a commentary and a song and end with a commentary and a song as well, so that we can continue to practice how to meditate. And we'll try to start promptly and end promptly. The only thing is the first chapter, because we take so much of time in giving you so many other details, it takes longer. So if we go over, please excuse us, and hopefully you'll keep your tolerance in that. And otherwise, I think you should take some notes, because it's very easy to forget what you learned. And we do in email send you handouts, and this time Sister Pooja will be sending out handouts to you. And if any one of you, and that's why we ask you for emails, and we've added you in a group as well, where we'll continue to give you instructions and information, and also some commentaries and so on. So so that is, I mean, all your numbers and emails are used in the right way. And once this course gets over, we will dissolve the the WhatsApp group, so that you don't feel overwhelmed with so many groups. And otherwise, coming back to the foundation course, 3 levels, beginner level is primarily about Raj Yoga meditation. And we look at the nature of the thought, the kind of thoughts we entertain in our mind, and we'll start to consider who the thinker is and begin to get to know ourselves from a spiritual perspective. Very, very important, because we always think we feel that we are physical beings having a spiritual experience, but we are actually spiritual being having a physical experience, and that is important to understand and experience as well. So in our next class, we'll go deeper into understanding the dynamics of consciousness and also the process of meditation. And we'll explore supreme consciousness and how to communicate with the Supreme, and having relationships with him, and so many different things, variety of aspects. And then we will go to the intermediate level, which will be starting from Monday to Thursday next week. And we will be talking about philosophy of karma, why things are happening the way they are to us, and the cycle of time, and many other things we'll talk in an intermediate level. And then advanced level is, of course, regular classes. When you join regular classes, you're part of the advanced course. So Raj Yoga meditation, we'll start with the first class. So we'll start with the song now. So Pooja Ben is going to play the song for us.
Didi, you would have to stop the screen share.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
शुभ संकल्पों के दीप जलाएं, अपने अपने मन में शुभ संकल्पों के दीप जलाएं अपने अपने मन में, जग उजियारा होगा प्रेम से, सुख ही सुख कण कण में। शुभ संकल्पों के दीप जलाएं।
Okay, so let's share the PowerPoint. So we're going to start with the first chapter, which is what is meditation. And of course, we have a variety of people who've done variety of meditations. And when you look at the dictionary, it says meditation means to reflect upon, ponder, contemplate, to plan in the mind, intent. That's the Latin roots of the word meditare, to think about, consider, reflect, and medri, to look after, heal, and cure. And it's very beautiful because this body, whenever it has an ailment, we take medication. While when there is any problem with the mind, then we do meditation. It's like a small little wound that has happened in the mind, and we are curing it with meditation. So physical body needs physical things, but mind is very subtle. It needs subtle aspect, and meditation is, a very, very subtle way to cure that illness of the mind. So meditation helps with a variety of things. It helps with developing greater self-awareness. So it's about truly discovering and understanding our own inner world of thought, inner world of feelings, opinions, and um, motives, attitudes, intentions, and basically, we end up developing the spiritual skills, the strengths to face the realities of the outer world. We do need a lot of power and strength to face that. And that, you know, that is provided by meditation. It helps to dialogue with the self. We learn to become very introspective. We are able to converse and talk with ourselves. And once we do that, we actually learn what our deep desires are, what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what our qualities and talents are. And we learn to look at all of these aspects, and we learn to respect all of these aspects of our personality, and we begin to improve. So we develop a very, very positive relationship with ourselves. A lot of times we really bring ourselves down. We are not this, we are not good enough, we are this. And the truth is, some aspects of our personality could be that, but that is not who we are. That's just a little aspect of the personality which needs that cure and healing and really, modification. But we are all very, very peaceful, loving, eternal beings, and we must learn to love ourselves. And this meditation gives you that, you know. And then inner healing is required, So meditation literally means becoming one, whole again. It is like our energies are, spread and in all different directions. And we truly need to bring all these energies together as a, whole, whole. So it helps in inner healing. And we find that we are plugged into many people and situations, and constantly those situations give us a current of sorrow or pain. And this meditation helps us to learn how to unplug and disconnect from all of this, and reconnect in a very constructive way with the outer world. And it's, of course, a spiritual journey, a way of life. And you know being spiritual means truly living values in your interaction with others. It means taking care of your mind and also nurturing a wholesome approach to life. There are many other you know things we get from meditation, and they are, clarity in thinking, clarity in thinking. Muddled minds, right? That foggy minds, they are not a very good way to really live. And there comes a lot of clarity. And with clarity, you're able to make clear decisions. Your concentration power increases. With meditation, you have a positive attitude. And the best part is you're able to relax. Your ability to work under pressure um, becomes phenomenal. With meditation, you're able to do that. You're able to rejuvenate your energy. And of course, when there is a healthy mind with meditation, there is also a healthy body. It's psychosomatic. Mind affects the body. We are what we think, right? So meditation is used by many, many souls to improve their health by reducing stress and so on. It's not necessarily always a cure, but a good method of prevention. So we are learning Raj Yoga meditation. What is Raj Yoga meditation? This meditation is offered by Brahma Kumaris, World Spiritual Organization. And we have learned about, or heard at least about, a variety of meditations. And this particular meditation, which we will learn in the next 8 days, is Raj Yoga. And Raj or Raja literally means king. And yoga comes from a Sanskrit word which means yuj. Yuj means yoke. It's a link, a communion. And you find two oxen or two bulls tied by a yoke, wooden yoke between the two, and they'll just go and go around to get that water siphoned, and all those things in India primarily you see. So yuj means really communion, and this form of Raj Yoga basically is communion with the Supreme. It is the Supreme Consciousness, I, the soul, and we'll talk about it in the coming days, how I connect to the Supreme Consciousness. And it's that connection why it's called Raja. Also, this meditation is the king of all yogas because it involves the mind and the intellect, which is the highest thinking faculties and deciding faculties um, in human consciousness. And we make use of both of these in learning how to meditate. So it is, of course, the highest form of yoga. And then also it helps us to get mastery of the self, which is that we become self-sovereign kings of the self. Usually we don't have control over our mind, our thoughts, or our sense organs. We are often slaves of our habits and addictions. And this yoga enables mastery of the mind, and it also helps to master the sense organs. So that is why it is called Raja, because we become king of the mind and the senses. So what it means is that the mind will think what I, the soul, wants it to think. The eyes will see what I want it to see. The ears will hear what I want it. And this is called mastery. So mastery over our senses. And then union with the Supreme, which is link, connection with the Supreme. This connection is the ultimate relationship. Yeah. So once you have that connection, you start to experience. That experience is very blissful once you connect. So to begin, we must first understand the nature of the thought, because our Raj Yoga meditation is completely dependent on thoughts. It's a thought-based meditation. So there's no posture, no chanting, nothing of that kind is required. All you have to do is basically have elevated, and we'll talk about that, powerful, pure thoughts in this meditation. So what is a thought, right? What is a thought? So when you look at the dictionary, thought is a product of thinking or mental activity, idea, or notion. And thought, according to spirituality or Brahma Kumaris, is the energy of the mind. It's the energy of consciousness, energy that potentially lead to action through the body. So it's the energy that potentially leads to action through the body. So the mind is always thinking. But what percent of the day are you even aware that you are thinking? Because we feel thinking is natural and we continue to think. It doesn't matter what is coming to my mind, I let it go astray. It takes me to Timbuktu and to Mount Kailash, and it takes me to the other side of the world. Mind keeps running and I let it run. right? There's no control. But this meditation helps us to control the mind. And initially, it is going to start with the awareness that I am thinking and what kind of thought is crossing my mind. So we look at, at the mind like a bowl, and thoughts are drops of energies within the bowl. So every type of thought creates a specific type of energy. If it's a positive thought, it'll create a positive energy. If it's a negative thought, it'll create negative drop of energy. If it's a waste thought, and all kinds of thoughts will create variety of energy, which are a part of our mind, that bowl. It's up to us. We should always revisit our thoughts and see what kind of thoughts are generating in my mind and what kind of energy am I accumulating in my mind. So let's go and understand thoughts. Thought is the energy of consciousness. We get approximately 50,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. It's a normal human being. When nothing major is happening, this is the number. Different types of vibrations emanate from our mind based on the type of thoughts we have. So, good thoughts, good energy, good vibration. Yeah. So, sometimes we sit next to people who don't like us, and they're not saying anything, but you start feeling something in your hand. You're like, oh my God, I'm not feeling good sitting here. Because the thought they have is sending out a vibration which is negative, and you're touched by that vibration because vibration is going in the atmosphere and we are feeling it and we are not liking it. Right? Sometimes you feel so much of love coming out of people. They're not saying anything, but you feel like giving them a big hug simply because, they are emanating that type of thought, which is so love filled. And you just want to give them a hug, a cuddle. Yeah. So it is a very natural thing. We've all experienced it, except that we have never, you know, noticed it in a spiritual way. So these vibrations, which are coming out of the mind, are constantly emitting, even when we are sleeping. So depending on the type of dreams and thoughts we have before sleeping and all that, the vibrations are constantly emitting 24/7. Whether you want it or not, they are emitting. Yeah. So the vibrations are reaching the person it is intended for. So sometimes we feel, oh my God, why does this person not behave properly with me? Because for the past, you know, 2 years, we've been thinking so wrong and badly of them. And when we go in front of them, we just speak just the reverse of what, we have been thinking about them. Say, oh, you're so beautiful, I love you, and all those things. And in the background for years we've been saying, my God, what a pain, and all those. So that vibrations have reached the person. What you're pretending to be has no consequence. So that vibrations are reaching the soul, and the person is understanding that, oh, this is coming from this person. So it's important we understand that we always don't have to say anything. If we send just loveful vibrations, the person will start changing and feeling that vibration. It might not be immediate because, if we are used to of sending negative vibration, then it might not immediately change, but it will, because it's the law, right? the vibrations are reaching the person it's intended for, quality and quantity of thoughts are inversely proportional to one another. So when there's good quality of thoughts, there are less number of thoughts. Yeah. When the quality of thoughts is bad, the number of thoughts is too many. And you will see, when you are having negative thought, waste thought about anyone, why did he do this and she did? Oh, he didn't call me in his party and called everyone else, or not didn't insulted me and did not give me that respect. Whatever thoughts, we all have those. Yeah. So what happens is when you have thoughts like that, sometimes even thoughts of um, oh hearing somebody getting accident in the family or something like that, you'll suddenly feel that your heartbeat goes up, your mind starts to race, your hand starts to feel perspiration, and um, you will also feel basically knees wobbly, and you want to sit down and out of breath. These are very common symptoms. Mind and body are so closely interlinked, intertwined, and the number of thoughts go up, your mind starts to race. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So when the quality is not good, the quantity of thoughts increases exponentially. And with every thought, there's a feeling. With every thought, there comes a feeling. With the feeling comes an attitude. An attitude creates character, personality traits, sanskars, and finally, your destiny is created. So it's important we understand, and I give this example because I love this, that my husband used to come from work, and even now, he sometimes, I'm not feeling good, and I tell him, go revisit your thought, because that will tell you where this feeling is coming from. And when that feeling is for a extended period of time, if somebody's angry, it becomes their attitude. So why the heck is somebody saying like that? The attitude of anger, and then of course it becomes your character, your personality trait. Angry young man, or man per se, or woman, then it becomes a sanskar. It gets etched on the soul also, and you carry it from life after life. It does become your destiny. So it's very important we understand that thoughts are ultimately leading to destiny. And we feel, oh my God, why are these wrong things happening to me? Because, we have created a destiny in the past, which is bringing that forward. It's not that God has written our destiny, because God is a father and he would only write, everyone who has children understand that you write the best destiny for your child. God cannot write wrong destiny, but it's our own karmas, our own actions, thoughts, words, deeds, which have created this. And we all question this. Oh my God, why is this happening to me? I sometimes myself think that. But, now fully aware that I'm the creator of those thoughts, words, actions, relationships, and I have created my own destiny. So we will come into karma and destiny later, but continuing with the thoughts, wherever our thought goes, the energy flows and the thought grows. So it's important we understand that when a thought is going out towards negative, the energy is flowing and the thought grows. And this is one example I like to give, which is my personal example. As a young adult, when I was growing, maybe in high school, and after that, I, used to have a lot of negative thoughts, and I would sometimes, build and keep on repeating the negative thought in my mind, and the energy would keep growing and growing and growing. And then I wouldn't want to even get up from the sofa where I was, and I would feel so depressed and low. And the thought had grown to that extent that to come out of it became very, very challenging for me. And I remember those times where for days I would not like to get up except for the basics. I mean, I just, so, so it's very important we understand that thought, you know, should only be of such a high or good quality that whatever kind of energy is flowing, it's only building into a positive, big, cloud of beautiful, energy instead of negative or waste energy. Now, positive, peaceful thoughts have higher wavelength. So when the wavelength is high, so the number of thoughts decreases. And of course, negative, sorrowful thoughts, they're more than one, many, thoughts of short wavelength superimpose on each other and, create that short wavelength. They superimpose on each other and create short wavelength. So negative, sorrowful thoughts, we should refrain from thinking like that if possible. Yeah. So, so, um, it's important we understand that thoughts are very, very powerful. They are the energy of our mind, and they are the energy of consciousness. And this energy potentially leads to action through the body. And also, as we think about ourselves, so we experience thought as feelings. In other words, feelings follow thoughts. Yeah. So there are some facts about thoughts. There are four main types of thoughts: positive, negative, neutral, which is also mundane, and based. And these four main types of thought energies, I'm sure there's so many, but we have divided them into four. And anything above the positives is pure and divine, and anything below the negative is basically devilish, traits which people show. So I had a very beautiful, uh, diagram, and it's missing here. So next time we're going to start with that diagram. It's just something which is beautifully done, just a straight line and very nicely done. So, so the positive thoughts are thoughts which make you feel good, make others feel good, and they generally bring benefit to me and others. So positive thoughts are typically thoughts which will bring peace and happiness. Positive thoughts are thoughts which are, in forgiveness, for example, for having tolerance and patience and trust. And we have positive thoughts, and higher than positive thoughts are pure thoughts, which are at the highest level of consciousness. Those thoughts are called divine thoughts. And a person who is by nature very, very peaceful and tolerant has pure thoughts. And of course, we know that there are many sadhus and saints, and they have a great reservoir of pure thought energy in that bowl. And they donate that energy of thought unconditionally, like angels, and they are divine thoughts. So they're like lighthouses, constantly giving light and guidance to the whole world. They don't ever have to think what type of a thought it is, because they only have reservoir of pure, thought energy. So we would all like to be like that, isn't it? And it's doable. It's very doable. It's practical. It's just that it starts from taking one small step, and we can all be part of that. The second is, negative thoughts. Negative thoughts, just the opposite of positive. They do not make you feel good, and they do not make others feel good either. They, in fact, make others feel uncomfortable or worse. And they can actually cause harm to self or others. Negative thoughts. Under these thoughts come animosity, which is very, very sad. When we have animosity towards souls, or also sometimes it's based on the limited self, you know, limited sense of the self, and it gives rise to selfishness or feeling of anger. At the lowest end of negative thought is devilish thought, extremely egocentric, destructive, violent thoughts. Those thoughts which violate others' rights to existence. They have no right to exist. Like, there's a lot of people who bring guns and just kill. They feel, oh, others, these people never had, need to be alive. Why are they living? So these are devilish thoughts, but none of us have to worry about that. We don't belong there. Then comes neutral and mundane thoughts. Neutral and mundane thoughts are necessary thoughts. They're factual thoughts, and they result in mundane things getting done, right? Phone numbers and groceries and, showers and washing laundry. And so it's day to take out garbage, you know. And when I talk about the garbage part, when I'd come from India, I used to always feel, oh my God, I have to take out garbage. That was something which I always used to hate, because in India, we never had to do something like that. And, this, so you can color the thoughts with negative or positive feelings. So I used to take garbage and I used to feel very unhappy. So I used to have negative, feelings or thoughts about that. And then slowly with Raj Yoga meditation, now you can ask me to clean toilets or do whatever. It doesn't matter. We are just cleaning this house where God lives and where I live, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Everything is doable, manageable, and I don't give it much thought. So mundane thoughts are important thoughts, necessary thoughts, but we need to make sure we color it with positive feelings and positive thoughts, so that when it, so that that energy is, accumulated as a positive in the bowl of the mind. Yeah. And then, of course, the last is waste thoughts. Waste thoughts are those thoughts which waste everyone's time and energy. Examples are regretting, speculating, sometimes we speculate too much, worrying, also wishful thinking, especially thinking useless and unnecessary things about others, and keeping somebody's past in your mind. Uh, and wasteful thoughts are also those thoughts which makes the mind work harder, faster, under pressure. So worrying, for example, leads to stress. Yeah. Stress can be so intense, it can even lead to mental breakdown, isn't it? So we need to be very conscious of waste thoughts. But the difference between waste and negative is only a matter of degree. It's easier to get rid of waste thoughts than to get rid of negative thoughts. For example, gossiping is a kind of waste, which also wastes one's time. And sometimes, people, when they're having negative, they will slander, your reputation and your character. So you can imagine gossip and slandering, they're two poles apart. How bad can that be? So, so we need to be very conscious of negative thoughts. But waste is something which we try to manage in this kind of meditation. It's very, very important that we manage our waste thoughts, because they are the ones who are occupying more than 95 to 97% of our mind. So it's waste. Vyarth sankalp. Vyarth. Completely waste. So we do have absolute freedom to think any type of thoughts we wish. And our aim in this meditation is to spend more and more time towards, mundane, positive, pure, divine thoughts, towards higher end of the thought spectrum. So this is on the type of thoughts. And in the end, once we're done with the meditation, we are going to take question answers also. If you do have, you can type in the chat. So thoughts, like I said, are very, very powerful, beyond imagination. And thoughts dictate our feelings. Thoughts also define our capacity to achieve things. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you are right. So it's very important we think that we can, because either way, it will work out. If you're thinking you can at the beginning, supposing at the beginning of a project, you're thinking that you can, you will see most likely you'll be able to get it done. And in the beginning, sometimes you say, oh, I don't think so, it'll happen, I can do it. So then it cannot be done for most part, because those energies will be half-hearted, right? So whether you think you can or you can't, you are always right. So it's important we think elevated, and positive thoughts, especially about what we are doing and also about ourselves. Um, in meditation, it's not moving. Yeah. So in meditation, we manage thoughts by cultivating a non-passive, which is a proactive state of mind. We manage thoughts by stop, observe, and steer, SOS technique. This is the first one we teach everyone. So when negative or waste thoughts occur in the mind, what we do is we step back and simply observe the energy of our mind manifesting in those thoughts and feelings associated with them. Then what we do consciously, we steer our mental energy in a more positive direction. Right? So when when the thought is coming, say a negative thought is coming, about I don't like her green dress. You let that thought cross your mind, and while it's going through your mind, you observe it, of course, and you let it steer out of your mind without giving it an additional thought, right? So basically, you don't give it any other energies, because sometimes what happens is, if I say, oh, this friend of mine, she lied to me. And the next thought I'm going to give it, oh, she's always like that. Nothing, she is like that. And then I'll keep giving it thoughts after thoughts, and that thoughts will keep growing. The negativity will keep growing. But we don't do that. In this, we manage our thoughts, which is managing our mind. We take that thought, we let it, pass, but we don't give it any supporting thoughts. No more supporting energies. And we observe and we steer it out of a system. And in its place, we give it an anchor thought. An anchor thought is a positive thought, which we create, which we deliberately create to help us throughout the day, So, so that will create a new experience for us. Yeah. So anchor thoughts could be, something like, I am a peaceful soul. So when I say I'm a peaceful soul, that is a beautiful thought. And I am a happy soul, or whatever thought gives you happiness is what you replace it with. That is an anchor thought. Yeah. So we will experiment. So now the question is, who is the thinker? Who is the thinker of these thoughts? Who am I? Yeah. Who am I? So who are you? Have you ever questioned that? So when we practice this meditation, there is a need for us to know who is thinking. Who is it who's experiencing positivity, negativity, happiness, unhappiness, right? All of those experiences. Who is experiencing? So to understand who you are, we must understand the difference between consciousness and matter. And attributes of matter are volume, density, and so on. Attributes of consciousness, awareness, memory, creativity, reasoning, and so on. Yeah. And, the difference is most apparent at the moment of death, when consciousness separates from matter, at the time of death. So when the body of 5 elements, it returns to dust. And that being of energy or consciousness who was experiencing through the body leaves the body. So people say the soul left the body. Without the soul, which is the being, the body doesn't function. It's a corpse. So we are consciousness itself, the conscious animating force, the conscient self, the spirit, the soul, you can call that anything. So So this energy, the soul, is metaphysical. It has no physical attributes. It is metaphysical. And you would typically see that a human being is two things, soul and body. And who is it who says it's my body, it's my hand, right? It is the soul, the energy of consciousness, who says this is my body, my hand, my face. So the soul, it is metaphysical. It has no volume, no density. It is just energy. And so the characteristics of the soul is it's a point of light energy. It's located in the center of the forehead. The lifespan is eternal. The soul is eternal. It never dies. It's the body in which it is experiencing, through which it's experiencing. All its experiences are through the body. The body is, limited in years, but the lifespan of the soul, the eternal energy, consciousness is eternal. Purpose and role of the soul is to express and to experience through the body. So the soul is experiencing and expressing through the body, our physical body. Okay, so this is what I was supposed to teach you in first chapter. So we are spiritual beings, soul, and we are not the body, but with so many births of the soul in variety of bodies, we have gotten so used to of thinking ourselves and identifying and associating with the body, isn't it? So body also has immense value. The soul cannot express or experience without it. And of course, this soul is the master of this body. It is the dominant factor between the two of them. It is in control. And when it leaves, the body is no good. It is of no value at that time. Because people want to just get rid of it as quickly once the consciousness has gone out. So it is I, the soul. I'm not the body which dies, but I'm the living entity, the energy, the soul. And what else is needed? I'm just thinking. And also that this energy of consciousness is, it's non-physical. Yeah. It is, it cannot be, destructed, or you cannot burn the soul. You cannot, kill it with bullets or destroy it with bombs. It has always existed and it will always exist. So the word we use in spiritual terms in Brahma Kumaris is that we are immortal. We cannot die. So we are located in the middle of the forehead. And the soul is metaphysical, means it's invisible to the physical eye, right? It is almost sitting at the third eye, which is the middle of the, eyebrows and inside. And many times you say, oh, I see. So it's not the physical seeing, it's saying that, oh, something has touched the soul, and the soul is saying, yes, in my mind's eye, I'm seeing that, or I'm understanding. And this is what it is all about, understanding, right? Awareness. We are able to perceive what somebody's telling us to look at or understand. So, yeah, so this is all I want to tell you for this chapter, and we will build on today. I, the soul, what are the attributes of the soul tomorrow? So, what we can do is I can ask Pooja Behan to play the commentary and the song. Before that, I want to um, give you how to meditate in short. Yeah. So give me a minute on that. Just let me. So today we are going to begin our meditation session with the aim to experience myself as a soul. So this meditation is done through open eyes. For most part, sometimes initially we can close our eyes to center ourselves. But for a few weeks you can do that, but then it would be a good idea to keep your eyes open. So eyes are very, very powerful organ, and a lot of energy of consciousness, energy of mind, energy of the soul is transmitted through the eyes. And in Raj Yoga meditation, we need to learn to develop inner awareness to such an extent that we can maintain it whilst in action. That while driving, cooking, cleaning, we are still conscious that I am not this body, but I am a soul. So what do? We sit comfortably. You don't need any mudra, no action, no chanting, nothing, except for uncrossed legs straight on the floor. And you just sit on a chair if you want to, but your spinal cord should be straight so that the energies, subtle energies of your body can flow unobstructed. Yeah. Back should be straight and feet together, legs uncrossed. Yeah. That's all. Then you focus your attention, sit in a comfortable position, try to forget about, let go of the sounds and sights around you, and you turn your attention inwards. So you can initially focus your attention on the point in the forehead where the soul sits. So if your mind is running too many thoughts, just observe them. Watch them come to the screen of your mind and go. And gently keep bringing your attention back to the soul or the energy or the thought, right? Sitting on your seat of consciousness. You will find that as soon as you start observing your thought, your mind becomes peaceful and your thoughts will slow down. And if you're experiencing a headache, you're trying it too hard. You need to be relaxed. So you create specific thoughts, create thoughts of peace, concentration, your attention. And as you create thoughts of peace, with the thought comes a feeling of peace into your consciousness. So this is elevating your consciousness, becoming soul conscious. So when you're in peace consciousness, you can deal with anything negative, right? So this is the practice. And it's a daily practice. And you can start with maybe 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the night. And we will start with the meditation now. And once we are done with meditation and maybe a paragraph of one song, what we can do is we can have the rest of the time so what we'll do is we will then so Pooja Ben is going to now play a commentary on creating positive thoughts. Yeah. And then she'll play a small little paragraph of a song. And then in the meantime, you can have your questions on the chat. And we'll try to answer that, after meditation.
Maybe could you please stop the screen share?
Creating positive thoughts. I sit relaxed and breathe deeply. I slowly let go of all the tension I feel in my body. I pay attention especially to my shoulders. Are they loose and relaxed? My hands, my feet, my stomach. I breathe in and out, gently. I have all the time in the world. There's nowhere I need to go, nothing I need to do. I sit here with myself, relaxed and peaceful. I take a look at my thoughts and calm them down by concentrating on a few simple, positive thoughts about myself. I see myself in a positive way, a new way, as if today I see myself for the first time. When I look at myself in this new way, I see myself in my original form, without stress or resistance, detached and yet fully involved. I recognize the energy of my own thinking and realize its power and potential. Everything I think about myself, I will experience. I will bring into practice. And so I shall become. I am what I think. That's why it's so important that my ideas about myself are crystal clear and positive, because in this way I create a new personality. I look at myself and see inner peace, a natural inner silence, balance, and inner strength. Whatever I choose to think about, I can think about. I can finish these thoughts and concentrate on those. I choose the subject, and this is where my thoughts go to. And these thoughts then become a thought pattern. If I think about myself in a new way, a positive way, then a positive thought pattern is developed. And this pattern will then become natural. I see myself as a tranquil personality, very quiet inside and relaxed. I am the one who decides what happens in my life. From this deep inner calmness, I take decisions which are important in my life. With this newly found strength and direction, I can catch and change the rush of my thoughts. When things get out of hand, or if I panic, by creating silent, positive thoughts, I can calm down. A natural quietness, a state of peace which is part of my original personality. The peace I am looking for, I find within myself. I only have to concentrate on it, and through the concentration of these thoughts, I will go into the feeling and will experience this peace. So peaceful, so quiet inside. Even the greatest chaos in my mind, even the high speed of thinking, I can calm down by repeating these same thoughts about myself. I am peace. I am silence. I am balance. पाओगे, ख्वाबों को तुम खुशनुमा पाओगे, आसमां से जन्नत आएगा।
Om Shanti. You know, there's a way we address everyone in Brahma Kumaris. And thank you, Pooja Ben. Beautiful commentary and song. And sorry, I just turned it on because I just thought I'll be able to send some vibes to everyone, but I didn't mean to, you to stop. But I also wanted to tell you today that we have in Brahma Kumaris a word where we say Om Shanti. Om Shanti is, instead of Namaste, we say Om Shanti because there are some original qualities of the soul. Peace is one of them. It's a fundamental quality. Purity, love, happiness, knowledge, power. A lot of qualities. 7 of them are, very, very important. So Om means I am, and Shanti means peace. I am peace. I, the soul, am peace. I'm a peaceful soul. So when I say Om Shanti, I'm trying to remind myself that I am a peaceful soul and I am looking at others also as peaceful souls. So when I'm saying Om Shanti to them, they also get reminded of that. So this is a good reminder, good way to remind ourselves and others when we say or exchange Om Shanti with each other. So you will see me saying Om Shanti very often, at least in the beginning or in the end. And all that means is that I'm saying I'm a peaceful soul, a peaceful being, peaceful metaphysical being of energy or whatever consciousness, and that you are also a piece of, a being of, peace and consciousness and peaceful being. So this is all I wanted to say. And there is also a concept of traffic control in Brahma Kumari. So we're talking about the traffic of the thought. So we have traffic control. If you go on the app on iPhone or Androids, it'll have Brahma Kumaris, Brahma Kumaris, not Brahm. It's Brahma Kumaris, spiritual organization, and it'll have traffic control. So what it does is every 1 hour for a minute, it'll play some song or some music, whichever, way you set it up. And you just stop everything and just notice the thoughts. And you will see that when you notice your thoughts, they slow down. And that is very valuable for us in meditation. So traffic control will automatically pop out. And then every, so often, 5 times a day, it plays for 3 minutes. So depending on what time it is, it'll either run for a minute or 3 minutes. And you just have to focus on your thoughts, because when we only do meditation in the morning and in the evening, we forget the rest of the time to manage our thoughts or to manage our mind. And we need to constantly learn how to do that. So this was just something, you can download and start using. Yeah. So have the most wonderful day. We have Sister Pooja. She will, today or tomorrow send you the handouts. They're not necessarily the slides we have used, but some topics which are covered, which you can read and they'll be useful to you. And tomorrow we'll see you again at 7, and have the most wonderful day practicing soul consciousness and managing your mind. Om Shanti.
Didi, we have a very good question from Brother Ramesh in the chat.
Okay.
Do you want me to read that?
Okay. Yeah.
I think Pooja got muted.
Yeah. So it says, why am I able to be good with one and completely opposite with another person? It can't be my sanskar, as they would be consistently good or consistently bad. How do I change this pattern of behavior that is dependent on person I interact with? Yeah. We've just barely scratched, the surface, and we will be talking about karma. It all boils down to, all of these people in our life have been there life after life after life. Especially if we're having some, more interaction than barely, somebody who's a bystander on a street. Okay, maybe only on this lifetime. But many of the people we interact with have been there present in our life before. Many of them, especially at work and friends and associates and family and cousins and all those things. And what we find is that a lot of energies are coming from the past. We have learned the hard way, and I can tell you that you take my word for it now, but as times will progress, you yourself will be able to tell that what happens is, if we have treated somebody badly in the chapter of karma, it's all about what you give is what you get. So what you have given in the past, out, that energy to that soul is coming back to you in this life. And this is true because all our karmic accounts have to be settled. Life after life, whatever are unsettled accounts, they keep, with the soul, keep moving forward. And it's like looking at it at yourself. It's like saying, in one life, I was, if me and you were there, Ramesh Bhaiya, and we were like, supposing I borrowed 50,000 rupees from you, and I was wearing a white sari at that time. And today, in this lifetime, I'm wearing a green sari. You might not be able to, recognize me physically, but the soul to soul connection, soul can recognize the metaphysical energy, is able to recognize it completely from day one when it comes, in contact. And it'll say, give me, give me, give me, give me my money back. And you will find many people are able to give monies to others without even, lifting the eyebrows. And on the other hand, sometimes you're not able to even give $1 to somebody because you don't want to, or you're creating another new account. So what I'm trying to say is that, and a very good example of this is, at one point I found my husband, while my father passed away. He was a physician very early, and my mother wanted to build a house. And it was very, very strange how, hundreds of thousands of dollars of check was given to her without my husband thinking even of batting an eyelid. And somewhere in his heart, he was feeling, light. And I'm like, what is he doing? I mean, I don't want him to do something like that and regret it later. But the reason I'm telling you this is not to really put him on a pedestal, but what I'm saying is these karmic accounts settled somewhere. She might have done something in some life, and he just cleared that account by doing whatever was needed in this lifetime for her. And so this, you are the same energy, but you don't remember what relationships and what energies you had with that soul in that given lifetime. And this is the answer I'm going to tell you today. We will do a few more chapters, but as things will progress, it'll become more and more clear to you. I don't know if this answer was sufficient.
No, I think it helps, and I'm sure there's more to come in the coming days that will unravel better.
Yeah. And yeah, there's so much to this. Whatever we'll give you in 7-day course is barely very limited, and there's so much to it, especially this interaction and relationships, and why this is happening to me. While some questions are like that, which have very deep answers, and you just take my word for it now. Yeah. Okay.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Bea.
And I can support that too. So
Oh, thank you, Bea. I appreciate it. Yeah, some of these answers are just experiential. You will experience them and you will come back and say, oh, yeah. Yeah, because these karmic accounts settling is just the way it is. And the minute your karmic account is settled, you're not going to be with that person, or the person will leave, or, will leave the body or whatever. It just fades away. I mean, these are so precise, it's unbelievable. But thank you all for joining, and we'll continue to build on this tomorrow at 7. Yeah.
thank you.
And keep
Beautiful.
experimenting. And in the group, the WhatsApp group, we'll ask Pooja Ben will post some commentaries which she had posted, before, and she's going to, give you all the directions. So really appreciate that. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Didi, thank you.
Thank you, Saritaben. Om Shanti.